Hey, what's up, guys? Seacox97 here with The Walking Dead Volume 12, Life Among Them summary. Now, Volume 11 was a pretty frick of a volume. We lost a whole frickin' lot of characters from the first volume. We lost Dale and Ben and Billy. So, I mean, out of all the characters that we had in the beginning, we've lost a lot of them. There are only 6 left. Do you think we'll lose any more in this one? Well, we'll find out. And by the way, we are catching up. We are getting very close to being completely up to date with all of them. And the most recent one to come out was number 83. Now, 83 ended in a huge, big climactic thing. Like, something really big happened at the end of 83. And basically, the whole story arc is called No Way Out. And that's in number 80 and on. There are 5 of them, 5 parts. Now, 83 was part 4. Part 5 is coming out this Wednesday. So, I'm going to try and do the summary for Volume 13, which I'll be doing tomorrow. And then the most recent comic books catching up until we are finally caught up. So then on Wednesday, I can do the big, huge summary for one comic book. It'll be short, but I cannot wait because it's going to be a pretty frick of a comic book. But yep, we are getting caught up, and Life Among Them. So, what do you think will happen in Volume 12? Well, let's find out. So, just something I found kind of funny. Right off the bat, we start off with one word. Frick. Although it's the F word. Now, as you can see, Rick, he ain't doing too good. They've been traveling for a while now. It's fall. It's starting to get a bit cold, you know. Our characters are really roughed up. Rick said the F word because he saw a whole frick of zombies in the town, so then he's like, alright, get back, and so he and Carl are apparently searching for food and stuff. Apparently, the group's plan is that they walk around and, just kind of, search for food. They chat and stuff, you know, talking about how life was before the apocalypse. Rick asks him why he killed Ben, because if you remember in Volume 11, Carl killed Ben, and Carl just says a really long speech, and he basically just says, I knew it had to be done, no one else wanted to do it, I didn't want to do it, but I knew I had to, so I did, and I mean, I don't want to die, and it's the only way that we're going to be able to survive if we, you know, do that, so they get back to the group, and they shared a nice father-son moment. The group is not doing too well. They don't have a whole lot of food, and they're on their way. They're pretty close to Washington, D.C., and he asks Eugene, hey, why don't you check that radio thing or whatever, since we're getting really close. No, I can't. We need to conserve the battery, blah, 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 blah. Well, here, why don't I go check it out? And he's like, no, you can't check it out. What? Why? Because it's very careful. We have to conserve the battery. Shut up, all right? I want to try it out. And they fight, and they accidentally drop it, and falls on the ground. But when you look at it, wait a second, there are no batteries in it. So Rick immediately sees that and asks, why isn't there a battery in it? And he says, the battery ran out a few weeks ago. I didn't want anyone to worry. Didn't you think you would tell us something like that? Wait a second. How long ago did the battery really die? And Eugene's just sitting there like, geez. Was there ever batteries in it? No. Never. So, Abraham immediately kicks him in the gut and makes him puke, saying, you motherfucker, and asks him, is that where the lies end? Alright, are there any other lies? What were you? Are you really a scientist? High school science teacher. What the frick? Punches him in the face, starts beating the crap out of him. They stop him. Abraham completely loses it and just says, I've gone through crap. I've let people die to protect this man because I thought it was all for a good cause. And they ask, why did you do this? And Eugene just says it's the only thing he could do. He's not strong. And I like this moment because it basically shows how our characters are still alive. Michonne, he's not strong. He can't get by his good looks. He's not some great leader. He's not brave. And he's not useful. Our 5, you know, characters there. I thought that was kind of useful. Or kind of cool. He just says he's extremely intelligent and a good liar. It's all I could do. So, he's a pathetic piece of crap. So, they've been on this whole journey for nothing, basically. So, you know, Abraham is still coping with the fact that he did all this crap for no frickin' reason. That night, he and Rick are talking and stuff, and they decide, well, we're close enough to Washington, D.C., might as well head there. And all of a sudden, someone just says, hey, could you point me to whoever is in charge of this little group? Okay. So they just stand here and say, "Who the frick are you?" And he says, "My name's Aaron. Just wanted to talk to you guys. I don't have any weapons, And he seems like a very kind man. We haven't had very good experience with kind men. So Rick punches him in the face, knocks him out. All right, and so he just says, "I don't care how kind if he doesn't have any weapons. I've dealt with humans before, and they're dangerous. So we're gonna tie this guy up and ask him questions." So throughout this whole interrogation with Aaron being tied up, Aaron does not lose his cool. He's completely kind the whole freaking way through. It's very, very weird, and just says, "I have a community. It's called New Alexandria. It's a safe zone, not far from here, on the other side of Washington, D.C. If you guys follow me, you can join the community. There's about maybe 40 of us or so. You guys will be safe. It's a wonderful place. I've been watching your group for a while, and you guys seem like nice people." And he just, very unusual. All of a sudden, zombies attack, and Carl saves Sophia's life. That was pretty cool. Carl has his epic moment there. Yeah, go Carl. So they all start shooting all the zombies and stuff, and Aaron's like, "Hey, can somebody untie me, please?" And Glenn goes down to untie him. Blam, 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 killing zombies. Whew, big attack. So, hectic. And, but, look over. Yeah, Glenn gave him a gun. And he says, "No need, here, have this gun back. I don't need it." So he's really being a nice guy. So, he just, Rick's like, "All right, well, I want to sleep on this. We'll talk about it later." But Michonne just says, "No, frick it, all right? The whole reason we're alive is so that we can find a safe zone like this. I'm going with him no matter what." And everyone just says, "Yeah, I want to go with him. We don't have any food left. I just want to go someplace safe." And they don't really know if this guy's telling the truth or not. And Aaron says he is. He's the kindest person in the whole frickin' world, which is unusual. So they're like, "All right, come on, let's go." So, while they're driving off the next morning, you get ready to leave, and Rick asks, "So, Andrea, you didn't say anything about, leaving. You didn't put your input, or do you want to go? What's your read on this guy?" And she's still coping with Dale's death, and she just says, "You guys are the only things left in this world keeping me alive, really. I mean, that's the only reason I lived. Dale was the only reason I lived in the first place, and now it's just you people. I'll follow you wherever the frick you go." So, yeah. Hot chick. So, they stop at one point, and hello, some new guy is at this motorcycle type thing, and they're all like, "Okay, alright, who the frick is this guy?" And Aaron says, "He's my partner, alright? We're a two-man group, we work faster that way, there's no one else, okay? No need to freak out. He's just my backup plan just in case if you guys try to kill me." And they say, "Okay, first of all, how did you guys spy on us without us noticing you?" "Well, we had this transmitter thing, or receiver thing, I don't really know what the frick it's called, but they could tell what they were talking about, like, 100 yards away, so, But yeah, they're a two-man group, and they're heading out. And something kind of weird, the two guys are actually probably really partners, like, not just partners in crime, so, alright. Anyway, nice to have diversity and relationship type stuff. Wondering why there aren't any lesbians. Anyway, so they start heading out even more, but Rick asks Abraham to, keep an eye on this guy, because even though it seems like it's too good to be true, and usually when it is too good to be true, it usually is. I mean, like, nothing good ever happens, so they're very suspicious about this guy, wondering if, if he's letting them on, if he's gonna get them killed. So they're driving along, it's a really long drive, they're not too far away, and they stop by Washington, D.C., Aaron says, "I just want to go around the Washington, D.C., I want to go around it, don't want to go through it," but a flare has popped up, and they both look over, and he says, oh my god, we need to go save them." "What?" And Aaron explains that the flare means that runners, which are people in their group that go out and scavenge for supplies, like Glenn did in the first volume, they send several runners out into the city to go get supplies, and when they pop a flare, that means they're in frickin' trouble, so crap, we need to go rescue them. So Rick just says, "Alright, I'll come with you, Abraham will come with me too," so Abraham, Rick, and Aaron are heading out into the city, by themselves. Everyone else is staying put. So it's a dangerous mission. Lots of zombies in Washington, D.C. Not a safe place. They find the two people, these two other guys. The one guy just says, hey, he tried to jump to the next building, but he missed and fell all the way down. Really busted up his leg. His leg really doesn't look good, this new guy, whatever. And Rick just says, I don't think that's going to heal at all, right? He's probably not going to, I mean, there's no point in rescuing him. He's probably going to die anyway. And the guy with the glasses just says, no offense, but this guy has Davidson written all over him. What the heck does that mean? Anyway. He always says ignore him, and they're kicking killing lots of zombies and stuff, trying to get the guy in the van. They're hurrying along as much as they can, but there are lots of zombies. They get surrounded. The van, it won't move. And all of a sudden, all the zombies get taken out. And these four other guys, a guy with shades, cool. Here's a better view of the four new guys. So, hello. And they say, here, we got you covered. Come on, let's move out. And apparently they're part of the group, too. And, you know, they're the Kick-A group. They're the guy with the guns. So, whew, that was close. And, they're heading out of Washington, D.C. Driving along. You know, just keep on moving. They get to Alexandria, and hello. That looks like a wonderful, safe place. Yay. And Carl's like, holy crap, Dad, can you see this? And, I mean, it's a dumb question, like, duh, I can see it, but he looks to his dad. Rick is happy. He hasn't been happy in a very long time. Not since the prison, actually. That's a nice moment right there. So, they're going in, and Aaron says, we'll need you to talk to our leader, Douglas, and basically your initiation, you know, find out what job you'll have, because as long as you pull your own weight to keep the community alive, you'll be fine. They climb out, and they look around, and they see kids playing football. Like, kids, like 10, 11 years old, out playing. So, something they haven't seen in a very long time. It feels like, you know, normal. You know, kind of like that. It's kind of weird. And Rick eyes one kid that apparently has a black eye there, and he gives a pretty suspicious look, like, And he says, Douglas is in the house right there, and Rick, why don't you go in there and talk to him? And, yeah, just love it here, basically. So he walks over, and Douglas, this guy, it's a lot of talking. Like, the next several pages is a lot of freaking talking. But basically, Douglas was a politician, not a huge politician, but, you know, he was a politician in the government and stuff. He's an old guy. He has a son who's Andrea's age, in 20s or so. He's got a wife. Basically, he created this community on his own, and people have joined. He's been keeping it safe. He understands everything that they have done to survive, murdering bad people. He's done it too. He's killed several men and stuff. He and Rick are a lot like each other. They understand each other. They're just leaders in the group, you know, keeping everyone together and stuff. And Douglas talks about the story that he heard on the news before the apocalypse, and apparently there was this dad who sucked the eyeballs out of his 4-year-old son's head, and he basically just says, if I had the chance, I would murder this dude. I would completely kill this guy because he's bad, and you know, he just kind of blabbers on and stuff. But he asks Rick what he was before the apocalypse. I was a police officer. Alright, so you'll be our constable. What's a constable? Basically just the law enforcement guy who walks around, keeps everyone safe, you know, making sure everything's fine. Are you sure you'll be able to do your duties with your disability? And he, I like this. As long as you don't need me to button a shirt, I'll do okay. So yeah, just, you know, be safe. There are strong walls protecting the community, so zombies can't get in. It's just the safe haven that our characters have been looking for forever. So this is awesome. This is awesome. So Rick is into the community. All right, he goes out and you know, Rick asks Aaron, where's his son? He's like, I think where is my son? And he freaks out all of a sudden, and he says, whoa, Rick, calm down. He's over there playing with the kids. And Rick's just like, oh, sorry.